I have no idea what I'm going to say. My granddaughter here said, Papa, what are you going to say? I said, I have no idea, because it said we can talk 3 to 5 minutes. I've never only talked 3 to 5 minutes in my life. Those that know me, because I'm a speaker and all this stuff, I've learned so much from Jerry. This is a very humbling experience, because I'll be 80 this next summer. And so many, I don't know if you applaud for that or what. I just tell people, look under the hood. There's all kinds of strange stuff going on there. I don't know what it means. But it's such an honor to be with company of all the folks that you've heard and will hear, because I wanted to be an athlete, and I really wasn't one. And I was a fat little kid that my nickname was Tubby, and it was well-deserved. But I really wanted to be an athlete. I tried real hard to be an athlete. I tried so hard that I played until I was 69 years old. I played baseball, but I never was one. And I told Chris Duncan that just standing next to an athlete feels good. But what I ended up doing was I ended up coaching. And I found that being somebody that can enjoy relationships with athletes, relationships and help teams build, is maybe next to that, maybe the most rewarding thing that I could have ever tried to do. I think that I started out as a junior high coach, and really, had it not been for a young man, a guy named, some of you know, named Hank Johnson, who used to live in Tucson. He walked across the street, right across the street from Butler University, when I was a young junior high coach at School 86, which is a very glamorous name, in Indianapolis, Indiana. And Hank just asked me when I was in my second year, what are you going to do with your life? What are you going to do? And I said, I want to be a coach. And he said, I know that, but what's the next step? And I said, well, and long-term planning obviously wasn't my specialty at that point, because I said, well, maybe I could go to Short Ridge High School, because that's down the street. And he said, no, I don't mean that. I mean, do you want to move on in coaching? And I said, yeah, well, like, how would I do that? And he said, well, how about if you went to be a graduate assistant someplace? And I said, well, where would that be? And he said, well, I would start, and I would look at Miami of Ohio, which was, I was in Indianapolis, that was in Oxford, Ohio, not far. So that's how it all started, because I started at Miami, Ohio, and I ran into John Pott and Bo Schembeckler, who became just the most influential person in my coaching career. He and Tony Robbins, who's a behavioral scientist extraordinaire, which is what I believe coaching really is, trying to influence people's behavior. And Tony Robbins is the one that made me understand how important it is to connect with people and build relationships. And that was nowhere more clear than last night at Arizona Stadium. We were celebrating the 1998 team and inducting trunk candidate Brandon Malamauna and Keith Smith into the Circle of Honor. That was a 12-1 team. But that really isn't what it was. It was a bunch of incredible people. And as we gave each other, as Nancy, my wife Nancy, who's just the most important person in my life, as we were giving people each other what Nancy calls these man hugs, these real hugs, not these counterfeit hugs that people give each other these days where they hardly touch each other. I mean, we're talking two hands, gobble each other up. We're giving each other those. It felt so good to see young people you had not seen in years, some of them in many years, or some that you saw last week, and to understand how connected we all are. And I think all of you who have coached or played understand that, because it's not about the games, it's not about the winning, It's about the connection, because it's about the people part. Because if it had just been about the X's and O's or the game or winning or losing, I would have never lasted as a coach. Because the people part was what I valued. And that's, if there's a good reason for me to be here, I'm not sure there is, but if there were a good reason, that would be it. So I thank you all. I appreciate everything that everyone has done. I love listening to the stories that you all tell, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thanks,